Most creators think that they struggle because they lack discipline, motivation, or confidence, but the truth is far deeper. You're not losing control, you're awakening. And the struggle you feel is not failure. It's a sign that something powerful is happening inside of you. Welcome to Creative Metaphysics. I'm Dr. Sherman Rivers, and today we're stepping into the heart of the creator experience, the struggle for control. Every creator goes through it. Every creator misinterprets it, and every creator eventually learns that struggle itself is an initiation. It's a doorway into alignment, identity, personal evolution. So we'll start by taking a look at the core problem. What is the core problem? The core problem is that creators try to control the wrong things. Creators try to control how they're perceived, how well a video performs, what people think, their emotions, the outcome. But here's the paradox. The more you try to control creation, the more chaotic it feels. And why is that? Because you're focusing on external world, the audience, the analytics, the algorithm, when the real source of creativity lies inside of you. Creators struggle because they're trying to control the parts of the journey that they were never meant to control and ignoring the parts that they can control. I know you've heard it before. Control what you can. But over and over and over again, we find ourselves trying to control the things that are beyond our control and failing to control the things that are well within our control. Part of that is due to this illusion of external control. See, most creators believe that success comes from either mastering the strategy, the timing, the niche, the titles, the thumbnails. All of these things matter, but they're not the foundation of creation. The real foundation is internal. It is inside of you. It's your clarity. It's your identity. It's your emotional stability, your energy, your self-trust. That's a huge one, self-trust. Every creative struggle traces back to your inner world, not external factors. This is where creative metaphysics begins. So let's talk about why creativity requires something that you may not expect. It requires the opposite of control. It requires surrender. Creativity requires surrender and not control. And you might ask, how could that be? But here's the deeper truth. You cannot be fully expressive while being fully controlling. I'll say that again. You can't be fully expressive while being fully controlling, because creation requires things like openness and flow and presence and intuition and vulnerability, things like that. It's creativity requires being open. Meanwhile, control requires things like fear and rigidity and tension and perfectionism and emotional constriction. So it becomes apparent that these two states, they can't coexist. They can't go on at the same time. And this is why creation feels hard. Not because you aren't good enough, but because your nervous system is really trying to protect you. The nervous system can react to your fear of visibility. What does that mean? Fear of visibility, being seen. So your nervous system is designed to keep you safe. So when you hit record and you step into that visibility and you share an idea and you express your truth, your nervous system can react as if you're in danger, because somewhere in your past that type of visibility was dangerous. So your nervous system's really just doing what it's supposed to do. It's trying to protect you. Maybe you were teased when you were growing up. Maybe you were often misunderstood. Maybe you were told you were too much, or you talked too much, or you were just too much to deal with. Maybe someone told you that you were too deep. Maybe they told you that you had this imagination, you were too imaginative. A lot of these are some of the things that I dealt with growing up, and a lot of times people don't mean any harm when they say stuff like that. But if you take that and you hear that and you take that and you internalize that, then being any of these things, or being yourself, or being comfortable in who you are, can also feel dangerous. So your nervous system will kick in and try to protect you. And how does it do that? It's got this one super powerful tool, and that is to control everything. Control everything. So if you're in control of everything, then common logic would suggest that you're not in danger, right? Because you're in control. It's not necessarily true. See, the first lesson on awakening teaches something that's very, very freeing. The danger your nervous system remembers isn't real anymore. So you're literally, or your nervous system is literally seeking to protect you from something that no longer exists. And your creativity is asking you to move beyond the younger version of you, the younger version who learned to hide. So now we've got to get into the real source of the struggle. And the real source of the struggle is self-trust. That's the core of it. Often creators don't lack creativity when they're not creating, or unable to create, or being prevented from creating, or having a block to creating, whatever that may be, whatever's stopping them from being the creator that they are capable of being, is often thought of as a lack of creativity. But that's not what it is. It's a lack of self-trust. Quick break, quick message. If you are looking for weekly insights to help you get past your creative blocks, on the screen you'll find a QR code for our weekly newsletter. Be sure to sign up. There's also a link down in the description. And if you're interested in growing a group of fellow creators who are working through some of these challenges together, be sure to sign up for the Creator Circle. You'll see a QR code for that as well, for the community, and there'll be a link for that in the description also. It's the best way to put this. When you don't trust yourself, you try to do things like overscript. Things become a little bit too wordy. You over edit. You got to have that perfect cut. You over explain. You got to make sure that everybody understands exactly what you're saying. And that's interesting, because a message being sent out to a bunch of different people, they can interpret it in different ways, but somehow you find yourself trying to find a way to craft this message specifically to each of them. So a bunch of different messages all in one. And that can lead to over explaining. Kind of like what you just heard right now. I just over explained that, right? Get it? It can lead to being attempts to avoid being misunderstood. So you go over and above just to make sure that you're not understood. You try to wait for the perfect moment sometimes. You might shrink your ideas down, maybe so they're not so big. Maybe they're easier for others to consume. And then ultimately try to control every detail. And obviously, you don't do this because you're lazy. You don't do it because you're not motivated. But you do it because it feels safer. Control feels safer than expression. And that's why we do it. But we need to reframe this entire dynamic. And how do we do that? Well, we have to realize this one powerful, powerful truth, that control collapses when you create from your identity. I'll say that again. Control collapses when you create from your identity. When you trust who you are, not the outcome. Everything changes. Your voice strengthens. Your presence stabilizes. Your message sharpens. Your creativity flows. Fear loses its grip, and you start performing. You start expressing. You start becoming the creator that you were meant to be. And that point right there, that's the birth of the awakened creator. So welcome to this channel, Creative Metaphysics. This is all about creative awakening. There'll be tons and tons of content coming your way, all focused on the same thing. Waking up the creator that's inside of you and helping that creator become the best creator that they can be. This lesson sets the foundation for our creative awakening, because when you understand the relationship between identity and fear and the nervous system and expression, you stop blaming yourself for the struggle. You start understanding it. You start working with it. You start awakening. So if you're ready to dive deeper, subscribe, follow along with this channel, especially this series, this first series here, where we begin to break down part of this, or every part of this inner transformation, step by step. This is the beginning of your creator metaphysics journey. Your awakening begins now. So welcome.